谢谢。Hi. Thank you, Ryan.
Right,
Okay.
we'll make a start now.
Yeah, so I'll just crack on with my presentation, yeah? So just to confirm, I've got Evan, Jason, Bob, and then I've got top new channel. What's your name, sorry?
Chris. My name is Chris.
Chris. Oh, okay, perfect. So Evan, Jason, Bob, and Chris. Thanks so much for joining today. It's a pleasure to meet you, albeit virtually. I hope you're all keeping safe and well, despite obviously the lockdown and the current uncertainties regarding COVID-19.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problems. So what I'll do is I shall start my presentation. That will probably go on for around 20 minutes, I assume. And then we'll just go into some question and answers, and you can, it might be nice for me to work out what sort of students approach you about engineering and maybe what some of their reservations are. And hopefully I can answer some of your questions as well in regards to program and set of programs that we do have on offer, if that's okay. Perfect. So, I'll also just let you know that the videos that are in this presentation, I probably won't play, simply because if I do play the videos, they may not actually play sufficiently. So I just want to make you aware of that. Apologies. There we go. So, forgive me, I'm not sure what's happening here. There we go. So, yep, Faculty of Engineering. So thanks so much for joining today. And, why should students consider the Faculty of Engineering at the University of Auckland? Now, I won't bore you with the facts about the University of Auckland, obviously being the #1 institution in New Zealand and also currently ranked 83rd in the world via QS rankings. But our Faculty of Engineering is also ranked #1 in New Zealand. Now, lots of our departments are currently ranked in the top 50 or 100 or 200 in the world, but our highest ranked department is our Civil and Structural Engineering department. That's currently ranked 39th in the world. So our Faculty of Engineering is really comprised of 5 departments, which is Engineering Science, Chemical Materials, Civil and Structural Engineering, Electrical and Electronic and Software, and as I said, Chemical and Materials as well. So that's 5, I believe. Maybe I've missed one out, so apologies if I have. But that's predominantly what the Faculty of Engineering is made up of. We're also linked with the Auckland Bioengineering Institute, and we also have our around 10 world-class research centres which are based either at our new engineering building or our Newmarket campus innovation precinct. So I'll send you a couple of videos so that you can have a look at those and see some of the current research that we have, but also the facilities available to students, which is unparalleled. So just moving on, I really want to just talk through quickly, the current situation in New Zealand regarding COVID-19 and the university's response. I think it's really important that you guys know, so you can pass those messages on to any prospective students who are also interested in coming to University of Auckland. So just to go over really New Zealand's response, I mean, we're really, really lucky that in New Zealand, the government have taken a go early, go hard approach, and that's really stemmed the spread of the virus to the point of where we can almost talk about elimination of the virus here in New Zealand. So we're currently, I believe, ranked 3rd safest country in the world regarding the pandemic. And as of a few days ago, New Zealand reported around 1,488 cases, excuse me, with around 1,300 recovered, and unfortunately 21 deaths. But over the last few days, we have had days where we've had 0 cases confirmed, so which is really, really encouraging, and obviously shows that the government and country as a whole has really got to grips with managing the spread of the virus. So you may also be aware, for those of you that may be based in New Zealand or overseas, New Zealand is currently at level 3 lockdown level. And as Jessica and Sherry both know, fingers crossed, and it has been confirmed that we will be moving down to level 2 as of Thursday this week. So really, really excited about that. And what does that really mean for everyday people in New Zealand? So it means a lot more travel restrictions are lifted inside the country. So some domestic flights can take place. People can move around a lot more freely. However, distancing restrictions are thing, and some entertainment facilities, shopping malls, all of those kinds of things will start to reopen, and more really great universities doing. Universities across the globe are actually helping to combat the virus. And what's great is, being the leading university in the country, the government and ourselves are really playing a role in helping government to either make decisions, but also combat the virus. And a couple of research that's currently happening in the government. So we've got the Auckland Bioengineering Institute, who are currently doing how restrictions are eased and how that might affect the spread of the virus, but also, how things are going internationally and how that can potentially affect New Zealand if travel restrictions were in advising and helping the government in order to make decisions. We've also got a great company that we're working with, and again, they're really affordable thermal imaging technology and cameras that can be distributed really easily, because that's going to become part of. Then we've got some of our 3D labs across engineering and across other faculties as well, particularly the Faculty of Medical Health and Sciences. We also work into equipment that again we can give out to the health professionals to assist them. But as I said, this is just 3 here that I've listed. There's actually a lot more going on, particularly in our Faculty of Science and our Faculty of Medical Health and Sciences. Loaded here on this PowerPoint, so you can really see some of the research that is happening. What's also really, really great is, there's a lot of talent out there, and a lot of students or potential students who really have an interest in helping to help. Obviously, can we use our actual our skills and our capability to develop something that can combat the virus? So the university has actually initiated a call to action, essentially, in that we're actually to help with some of these programs. So if you do have any students that are interested, again, please use the link that I've listed on this PowerPoint below. And yeah, some of your students can be involved actually in helping combat the virus at the university as well. So just moving on, what's the university doing? So what are we doing to support students who are here, and potentially those who are going to be starting with us as well? So this is really to give you guys confidence with your students in regards to what's happening here, but also to let parents know that the university has taken a really bold step in essentially supporting students. So just to start off with, I think the big one there is, the university has given $3 million to create a student hardship fund specifically for those affected by COVID-19, and students can make an application on that basis to really seek financial support if they've been affected by the situation. So I think that's a huge amount of money, and really does show you how important the university takes its students in this current situation, and how far we are willing to go to support them. We've also got individual study plans. So you may have students who are currently stuck in China who, might be partway through their program and unfortunately couldn't get here. So you'll all be aware that, each of the faculties and each of the programs have developed individual study plans for all of those students. And, that's individual per student. So when you think about how many students the university has, we have around 45,000 students. We have around 9,000 international students. And I believe we have around 4,500 Chinese students. So, there's a lot of work going into those individual study plans to help students that can't come to New Zealand. We've also there got the University of Auckland accommodation COVID-19 fees reduction. So currently, if students are renting halls at the university but are unable to be in those, the university again has made a really bold decision to help students with their rent, and has reduced the fees for their rent, given the situation, which again is a huge cost to the university, but again it's just showing how much we really care about the students and we want to support them. We've also got online counselling. Another really bold move as well by the university is the doctoral and research student COVID-19 fee waiver. So for students who are currently doing research, it's really important they get access to labs. But obviously this current situation and the lockdown has disrupted that and their ability to be able to access those labs. So a lot of students will require an extension, which the university is giving for free. That's a massive help to students. We've also got study buddies who are staying in contact with students, and we do have we've lobbied the New Zealand government to really try to make or to be as flexible as possible with those who are on student visas, international student visas. So for example, one of those is international students have been eligible for the wage subsidy scheme through New Zealand employers, which we're really happy with. Again, students have also been given access to online resources, and licenses have been given to them as well to really help them with their work. And we've also distributed laptops. Now, this is just a few of the support initiatives that the university has carried out to help students, but I highly recommend that you do go onto that website where you can find out a lot more information about the COVID-19 response at the university. So just moving on. So if we have students who currently have an offer, the first thing I'm going to say to you is please ask them to accept it. It's really important that we do that. And, I believe some students get slightly reluctant in accepting that offer is they're worried that they might be liable for fees, or they're accepting an offer where they actually can't make that because they're worried about travel restrictions. Please ask them to accept this in any case. This really indicates to us that they're still keen in studying with us, even if that means they have to defer their study or something else. It's not a problem. They will not be liable for fees if they accept the offer. So please ask them to do this. It makes the whole process a lot easier if changes need to happen given the current situation. Please also ask students to check the COVID-19 webpage, which I popped the link on in the previous slide, and these slides will be sent to you. And please ask them to check the webpage regularly, because all of the most important updates will be on that website. Students might be asking about how to enroll for semester 2, and if they are, please let them know an email will be sent to them on when they can enroll and when to start that process. You may also have students who currently can't sit their IELTS exam at a test centre or TOEFL equivalent. Well, the good news is the university now accepts the IELTS indicator and TOEFL IBT home edition. So there are some online English language assessments that students can take in order to meet the English language requirements at the university. There are some other English language certificates that we will accept, and again, that you'll be notified either by our admissions department or Jessica Chen, and I believe one of those might be Duolingo, which we're currently in the process of potentially accepting. So we'll let you know once that's been confirmed. And for students that do have a full offer, please advise them to look at the scholarships and make an application. It's free to make an application to our scholarships, and if students have full offers, then that's what we're looking for. But do be aware that scholarships do have different opening and closing dates, and the scholarships will be issued based on academic merit. So just make students aware of that. But again, I think it's a really exciting time to be looking at those scholarships if students do have offers. And then again, if students are saying, well, I'm happy to wait and they would like to defer their offer, please let us know and we can make that happen really, really easily and simply. So got through that section, so thank you for bearing with me. I'm now going to come back to the Faculty of Engineering, #1 engineering faculty in the country. and the faculty I love and represent. So I firstly thought I would just start with just the basics of, what is engineering, and when we're chatting with students, what are we looking for? And, really we're looking for students that really do have a background in sort of calculus and physics. And engineering is all about solving problems. And right now, more than ever, the world has so many problems. There never seems to be not a moment where the world doesn't have problems, and that's where really engineers play a huge part in solving those problems. And as I mentioned here, some of the key principles in engineering are obviously analysing problems, designing possible solutions, and then implementing the best solution. And that's really what we're looking to develop in our graduates. We're also obviously, engineering is about making a difference to people's lives. So here, for someone who might be affected or might be an amputee, can we develop something that can make their life easier? Or, for example, is there two sections in a country which unfortunately can't be linked, and it's taking people lots of time to try and get to a different part of the country or different area? Can we develop some form of infrastructure to make people's lives easier? Again, just two examples there. So just going back to, the Faculty of Engineering, again, I just want to highlight the key points. And as I said before, the highest ranked department in engineering is our Civil and Structural Engineering department. It's our largest department at the university as well in the faculty. One I obviously didn't mention before as well, so forgive me, is that we also ranked finding that more and more important to students when they are looking to make that decision. So, parents and students, when they are having those concerns about program, you can have confidence in letting those parents and students know that, we are ranked #1 in the country for graduate employability in engineering. So really, really proud of that status. Another really cool thing that's happened for engineering this year is we opened our brand new engineering building, which is huge, 11 stories high. The top 6 floors are research labs and spaces for our Master of Engineering research students and PhD students, as well as obviously our professors who are currently conducting world-leading research in their giving areas. The first 5 floors are teaching spaces. And what those teaching spaces have is a mixture of obviously lecture halls, MDLS rooms, which are multidisciplinary learning spaces, as well as some labs. And I think what's great is the equipment that's available in those MDLS rooms and labs is unparalleled. Really, no expense has been spared in buying that equipment for the students. So they're really going to have not only obviously a theoretical background in their study, but also have access to lab facilities and really applying engineering principles and everything they're learning in action, which is a core component when they are coming to the University of Auckland. We really want them to apply what they are learning. So fantastic facility, currently unoccupied. So any new students who are thinking about starting with us, they've got this that all awaits. And as I said, it's literally brand new. So fantastic opportunity for students. This here is a video. I believe I can try and play a snippet, but I believe it might be slow. So I would just ask Jessica or Sherry just to let me know if this is playing slow, and then if that is, I'll skip it. But I'll just try and play this now. so that gives you a little snippet of our new engineering building. And, you know, as we have, I mean, that was actually whilst we were completing the building, so you really couldn't see all of the labs and the facilities. So there's a lot more pictures of inside, and I'm sure once we're able to get back on campus, we'll be able to do a more detailed tour of that new building. And as you see there, that small robot is becoming increasingly the engineering faculty's little mascot, which is really, really nice. So just moving on to our key undergraduate program. So I don't know if one of you can just tell me if, you know, the students that you have, are they currently looking for undergraduate programs or are they looking for postgraduate programs?
Right.
Yep.
Mostly postgrad, master of engineering, project management and stuff like that.
Perfect. Okay, so I won't. That's really good. So I won't spend too long on our Bachelor of Engineering honours. So thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, but it would be great.
Great, just to know a little bit more
about medical engineering specialization.
Okay. Okay. So I'll just try and provide some of that for you, and I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, as you said, you highlighted there. You know, we're the only faculty to offer biomedical engineering in the country. So it is an extremely popular area, and that does sit under our engineering science department in the faculty. So just to let you know, the Bachelor of Engineering Honours is a 4-year degree. Okay. And that's because of accreditation requirements. There's not many, I don't believe engineering degrees can be accredited if they're not 4 years. So I know it's 1 year longer than a normal bachelor's, but it's for accreditation purposes. So the actual Bachelor of Engineering Honours is a Washington Accord accredited, which is a global standard. And essentially what that means is, one, you know, students can be rest assured that what they're studying meets and exceeds the global standard. As I said, you are studying at the best engineering school in the country. But also as well, when students want to work in different countries afterwards, they do have an accredited engineering degree, which will grant them global mobility options, meaning that they can essentially work as engineers in other countries. So that's really, really important for graduates. Part of the the Bachelor of Engineering Honours programme, and part of accreditation requirements, it does require students to complete 800 hours work experience. So every single student throughout the programme will do those 800 hours. So when students say, oh, will I have an internship? Will I have a placement? Yes, they have to. It's a requirement. So normally at the end of year 2 and the end of year 3, in their 4-year bachelors, students will, over the summer break, so we're looking, you know, end of November into February, they'll either do a research internship, either at one of our research centres, or they'll be working with industry. And we have an employee liaison manager in the faculty who specifically helps advertise opportunities to students in regards to what internships are available. And companies know that all engineering graduates have to do this, so this is a normal process for them. So they quite frequently will advertise internship positions over that period. And again, a lot of those positions are actually paid as well, which is, again, extremely encouraging for students. But what does that mean for our graduates? It means at the end of their program, not only obviously have they got an accredited program, which will grant them global mobility options, but they've also got 800 hours, which is roughly equates to around 4 months industry work experience. Now, they would have developed great connections in those companies. They would have got New Zealand employability exposure, and they'll have great references. So when they are finished in their program, they really are job ready, and so that will give them a great chance. Which is probably why, again, you know, for the engineering faculty has really, really high. A really, really high percentage of graduate employability, and why we're probably ranked number 1 in the country, again, for graduate employability as well. So great opportunities for students. Now, just briefly covering the BE-ONS, in their first year, they'll study a set of core courses, and then they'll also do some other courses which really sit in the different departments in engineering. So it gives them exposure to different elements. So engineering science, chemical and materials, electronic, and civil, and so on. And that will allow them really to work out, okay, well, which area do I want to pursue? And those areas are just listed in the next video. So this hopefully should answer some of your questions, Evan, in regards to more detail about those different areas.
From the moment you get out of bed in the morning, your life is influenced by engineering. As the toast pops out of the toaster, as you take milk from the fridge, get a lift to school and play a game on your phone during the journey, none of these activities would be possible without the help of an engineer.
Engineers love to solve problems. It's what inspires us to design and create new things. And the tools we use to do this are maths and science.
Engineers are creative and imaginative. Problems don't scare us, they inspire us to invent new solutions. Engineering is exciting, with a wide range of specialities to suit your interests. Mechanical and mechatronics engineers use the principles of physics to create machines that improve people's everyday lives. From cars, to food blenders, to jet-propelled backpacks, mechanical engineers are at the heart of the design process. Chemical and materials engineers use an understanding of chemical, physical, and biological transformations to find solutions for consumers and for industry. They find new ways of converting raw materials into useful products, like milk into baby milk powder, natural gas into heating, and crude oil into fuel, while making sure we don't damage ourselves or the environment. Bridges, roads, high-rise buildings and dams are all planned, designed and built by civil and environmental engineers. They work hard to make sure the things that we build follow sustainable principles and are strong enough to withstand wind, rain and even earthquakes. Electrical and electronic engineers are experts in electricity and how to use and control it. Electricity keeps cities and towns running, hospitals functioning and business humming. Computer systems engineers design computers and software that put the intelligence into everyday items, like cars and fridges, making all of our lives easier. Software engineers design the code to make all sorts of devices work, phone apps, video games, and computer programs. Engineering scientists use advanced mathematics to solve real-world engineering, business, and industrial problems. And biomedical engineers develop solutions for healthcare, improving patient care and outcomes.
Here at the University of Auckland, the Faculty of Engineering has a range of fantastic programs that will give you all the skills you need to become an engineer and really make a difference.
We'll teach you how to problem solve, how to think critically, how to work in teams, and by asking the right questions, you too can create new and innovative solutions to engineering challenges.
I would definitely recommend studying engineering here at Auckland. They give you so much support, so you've always got help when you need it. There are so many specialisations on offer, and you meet inspiring people every single day.
Once you leave university, there's a huge number of jobs available to our graduates. With a degree in engineering, your career can take you anywhere in the world.
If I was to look across all my peers in my year group from engineering, they're doing some amazing things. Everyone's found a job they want to do and something they're passionate about, and it's taken them to all these cool opportunities within the country and across the world.
Engineers find solutions to both old and new problems as the world moves rapidly towards a more technically advanced society. Study engineering and make the unimaginable happen.
So, Evan, hopefully that gives you enough detail about some of the different specialisations, but I thought what I'd just pick up on is obviously just simply biomedical engineering and what that would cover, and it really linking engineering, medicine and biology together in order to solve issues that might be related in the healthcare industry. Now, I'm just giving you an example here of some of the spaces available in those different specialisations. And as you can see, obviously, biomedical has the smallest capacity. Now, we have just completed our brand new engineering building, so it's likely that capacity should hopefully have increased. And students essentially get into their chosen specialisation based on how well they perform in their first year of engineering. So if you do have students who are really, really interested, by all means, they just need to work really hard in that first year. And then they should have a great chance of getting into the biomedical engineering program. But as I said, because it combines biology, medicine and engineering. And I'll give you an example. It could be that they're studying, so if I'm just talking about some of the research that they're doing, so it could be to constructing new cardiac pacemakers in the medical device development industry. So I actually currently work alongside Professor Partha Roop, and he's really quite leading in that area in developing systems to be able to test pacemakers as opposed to testing on live animal hearts, for example. And he works with the healthcare industry in developing that. So that's just giving you an idea of some of the areas that students can look to do some research in. Now, all students in their final year, so as I said, 4-year program, final year in their 4th year, will do a research project, obviously in relation to their given specialisation. So those research areas that I've just listed there, for example, will be things that students can look to do as they progress in their BE-ons. But as you can see there, those are the current spaces. So just moving on quickly, what are the entry requirements? So for those who are studying in New Zealand, again, this is the normal qualification via the NCEA level 3 and what's expected. But as you can see, obviously, we've got the 16 external credits at level 3 in physics and 17 in calculus as well. We've got the Cambridge international examinations and what's required. And again, obviously, we're looking for maths and physics. So please be aware if students don't really have maths and physics, they're going to struggle to enter into the program directly. And again, we've got the IB here. Now, if you're talking to students who might be coming through one of our foundation partners, so that could be students that don't have that maths and calculus background, then they can study calculus and physics at one of our foundation partners to gain entry into the program. So that could be a really good alternative solution for those really interested in doing engineering at the faculty. So we've got Taylor's and up there. And then for those that might have GalCal, we haven't got the entry requirements listed online as of yet, but what I can say is we're accepting these on a case-by-case basis. Okay. So just moving on quickly, English language requirements, again, I'm just listing those there. So those are some of the qualifications that we accept at NCEA or CIE and IB, as I've stated before. And then obviously we've got our IELTS requirements, which is 6.5, no band below 6. We do have alternative pathways into engineering, and again, that's something I can discuss with you on a case-by-case basis as well, so please feel free to reach out to me if you do have any students who would like to do that route. Then we obviously have conjoint programs, so students that might want to do a conjoint, say business and engineering, or science and engineering, or faculty of medical health and science programs. So they can obviously combine those 2 degree programs if they so wish. But again, that might extend the length of their program. And again, it's a challenge. So students really need to be up for it to meet that. Academic support. So there's a range of academic support available to our undergraduate students in the Faculty of Engineering. And one of the things that we're really championing is our mentors. So we have Part 1 mentors. So essentially what that is students who've completed their first year, going into their second, are recruited into the mentor scheme. They're trained, and then when students come in their first year, and students that might be struggling or would require maybe some extra help or want some extra help from some of their peers, they can reach out to our mentoring team, who will provide them with some support and guidance and really help them get through certain courses that they might be struggling with, because they had been through the same course the previous year. So we found that to be an extremely successful support mechanism for students who are coming into the university and the Faculty of Engineering. And what normally happens as well is obviously those students who receive that support might also then go on to be an actual mentor themselves, which again is a great opportunity for students, and they are rewarded and they are given a certificate for their time, volunteering their time. Okay, so another fantastic support team that we have in engineering is our Women in Engineering team. And I honestly can't speak highly enough of this because one, it's obviously a great initiative because, as you probably know, there is a perception in the industry that engineering is only for men, and really that is totally not the case. There's a lot of females who are working in engineering and in leading in engineering. So we really want to promote that and encourage that. And I highly recommend that if you have a group of female students who are considering engineering and maybe they'd like to talk to our Women in Engineering team, please let me know. Happy to help make that happen. But they provide unparalleled level of support to the females who are currently in our faculty, both obviously championing those who are out working in industry, bringing those guys in and allowing them to speak to current students and prospective students, but also just being that support and guide for our females in our engineering faculty. So a really, really great initiative that we have there. Any students who also are studying a BE Hons can do an exchange opportunity or overseas research internship. Really lucky at engineering that we've got a group of research internship partners in Taiwan, and they provide stipend, bonuses, payment on completion, travel reimbursements, all sorts of potential support, specifically only for University of Auckland BE Hons engineering students to go over to their universities in their given research centres to do an 8 to 10 week research internship. And again, that will help the students to meet the 800 hours work experience required. But, what a great opportunity for students. It really is. And, that financial support really does help those students that might, originally find doing something like that financially difficult. So a really, really great opportunity just for engineering students. Career opportunities. So as I said, accredited program, accredited by Engineering New Zealand, really grants them global mobility so they can work, anywhere in the world essentially. And I've just listed a few countries here, and the other really important thing is, engineers are in demand more and more. There is not enough engineers. So it's really, really, a great time to study engineering simply because of the wide range of jobs available. Yeah, I think I've covered that, so I won't go into too much more detail. So just to talk about our master programs now. So my apologies, it's taken me this long to get to this point, so I will try to be a lot faster. So master programs. Now, Evan, you'd mentioned the Master of Engineering Project Management, but I'll also just quickly list the other master programs that we have. So we have our Master of Engineering. Master of Engineering is our research masters. So students who are looking to do a large research component, that's the program they need to opt for. And what's great is that should allow them to go on to look at pursuing PhD if that's something they want to do as well. So Master of Engineering Research. Then we have our largest taught program, which is our Master of Engineering Studies, and roughly has around 15 to 16 specializations within that. So for example, it could be transportation, could be environmental, could be food engineering, for example, could be electrical, electronic, chemical and materials, civil, construction management. There really is a whole range of different specializations, which you can see on the next slide as well. Then we have our Master of Engineering Management program. So this is really for students that has, say, got a background in engineering, but are looking to complement that with some form of business management related papers. What's great about that is it's only a one-year master's, and as I said, it is taught between the engineering and business faculties. So students will get some great experience in advancing their engineering know-how alongside business papers. Then we have our Master of Engineering Project Management, which is the program you guys had mentioned is your most popular. And we're finding that increasingly more popular as well. So the difference between project management and engineering management is that, it's not taught in a business school as well. It's simply only taught in engineering. And it does have a set of core courses that have to be covered. And obviously we're focusing on project management mainly. Now, students do require experience, so they do require some engineering experience, work experience of 2+ years, but can come from slightly alternate backgrounds as opposed to engineering. So, we have students that have an architectural background of studies that can come into that program. So, great program. Then we have our Master of Disaster Management. Again, extremely popular program, great for students who are maybe potentially working in the civil service. And again, students don't necessarily need to have an engineering background, so we are looking at sort of commerce and science. Then we have our really popular program, which is Master of Energy. Again, students don't necessarily need to have a background in engineering. They can come from alternate backgrounds such as commerce and science, as I've mentioned before. But what's great is that's linked with our Geothermal Institute, and obviously as renewable energy becomes increasingly more important in today's society, but also for the future. So a great course to really set students up in that area and realm of energy. And then we have our Master's Operations Research. So just to quickly go back to the Master of Engineering Studies, which is our key taught program, those there are the specializations that we offer. So a huge array of specializations that really should appeal to lots of students from lots of areas, so really lucky. And a lot of those areas are linked to our 10 world-class research centres, which again are currently at our new engineering building, but also our Newmarket campus innovation precinct as well. So again, I'm just listing here the master, the name